Hello, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you this evening. My name is Kelly Land, and I'm the platoon leader for the Mission Continues 2nd Platoon in Houston, Texas. I can't tell you what an honor it is to have been asked to come here and tell my story to you guys tonight. My journey really started when I was a boy growing up in Texas. One of the biggest influences on my young life, and really still is today, was my grandfather, or as I like to call him, Gaga. In addition to being a number of things, my grandfather was a Marine Corps aviator, a fearless flyer who flew missions in the Pacific during World War II. So growing up, it was always my dream to fly too, just like my Gaga. And then I got my chance. After spending 4 years at the Merchant Marine Academy, I was accepted into Navy Flight School, first training in Pensacola, and then transferring to Corpus Christi, Texas, to the same base, in fact, where my grandfather earned his wings in World War II. Now, a lot of good things happened during my time at Corpus Christi. I became a pilot. I met my wife. I met my wife's dog. And we became a family. And just as my life forever changed in Corpus Christi, Texas, our nation and the world forever changed when on a Tuesday morning in September, the towers came down. And my plans for a peacetime career in the military turned into something much different. My first set of orders sent me to the Black Stallions of HC4, where I would fly special missions out of Naval Air Station Sigonella in Italy in the MH-53 Echo Sea Dragon helicopter. And here again, my life would change forever, for the good. My wife and I had our first child, Madeline, but also for the bad. It was July 16th, 2003. I was playing foosball with my squadron mates at the end of the day, and on the radio we heard, Black Stallion 4-1 is down. We lost 4 souls that day in a helicopter crash, including my executive officer, Commander Kevin Bianchi. And when Commander Bianchi's wife, Barry, and 3 young children came to the squadron in the midst of the chaos, she was informed right there that her husband had died. Another buddy and I were doing our best to distract the children, while others were consoling Barry. But the older son kept asking, "Where's my dad? Why can't I talk to my dad?" It was one of the toughest days of my life. 1 month later, my daughter was born. There wasn't a moment that went by when I was flying that I didn't think, this could be the last time I see her. Every morning, it was more like a goodbye to my wife and daughter, not necessarily a see you later. The next crash left 4 of my squadron mates with broken backs. And 6 months later, it happened again. And this time I was in the aircraft. It was a perfectly good helicopter, a perfectly fine day for flying. It was February 15th, 2005. During a training mission, we got into a rate of descent that was too high to recover from, and we crashed. When we impacted the ground, I thought we were dead. Everything faded to black. Unconscious, I had a vision of my wife and child with solemn looks on their faces. And I thought, so this is death. But then I heard engine noise. Survival mode kicked in. I secured the engines, cutting off the fuel, and egressed the aircraft as fast as I could. After jumping out of the cockpit window, I sank to my knees in mud. I paused, and I went back to help my buddies, Ike and Sully. We all lived, and I flew again for another year, but it didn't get any easier. I decided to leave flying forever in 2006, accepting a position as a Navy officer recruiter in Austin at the University of Texas. Everything was perfect. We were blessed with a second child, Katie, or as I like to call her, Katie Bug, because she hates bugs. We quickly began to settle into a new routine, and I thought everything was fine. But then, the heart palpitations began, and panic attacks started. I nearly passed out a couple of times at the gym. I went to see my doctor, a Navy reservist, who had treated Marines in the past, and almost immediately he knew what was wrong. It was PTSD. I thought PTSD only happened to combat veterans, guys coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan, but I was wrong. Now, I could have easily just become another statistic, another veteran that succumbed to the effects of PTSD, but I was blessed. I was blessed with an unbelievable community of support. My own special Kelly platoon, as I like to call them. I had an amazing doctor and psychiatrist, an amazing church, and my wife. My wife is at the top of her game, and she's here tonight. My wife is Bree, and she's my hero. I left the Navy in 2010. Next came Houston, civilian life. I was an oil and gas man in the middle of a boom. Life was good, but I soon began feeling a sense of unease. I blamed it on the job and went to find a new one, but the feeling did not let up. Then I got the news. Sully, who had crashed with me almost a decade ago, had been killed in yet another helicopter crash, this time in the country of Oman. Sully's death hit me, our entire community, hard. Sully's warm smile, big heart, and huge hugs were well known. He was the kind of crew chief that always put safety of others before himself. So much so that he once crawled outside of an aircraft in the clouds at night while on an instrument approach just to confirm a suspicious firelight. He had the courage of a lion. Ladies and gentlemen, Sully was a native son of St. Louis. His wife, Amy, and his entire family are here with us tonight. Thank you, Amy, and to the Sullivan family for sharing Sully with all of us. He truly made the world a better place. After hearing of Sully's death, another downward spiral began to ensue. More heart palpitations and more panic attacks. And just as my own special Kelly platoon saved me before, this time another type of platoon saved me, the Mission Continues Service Platoon. I first learned about the Mission Continues from a job posting on LinkedIn. And right away, I knew I found an organization where I belonged. I immediately joined a service platoon in Houston. I rolled up my sleeves and I got to work. Months later, I was asked to become a platoon leader. I didn't feel qualified, nor did I have the time, but saying yes was the best decision I ever made. The platoon became the kind of therapy I needed most. Being able to work alongside a group of veterans who understand what I'm going through is invaluable. And being able to lead again, here at home, it's something we all need. As a platoon leader, I focus on providing my veterans with three key things: the opportunity to be together, the opportunity to serve our community, and the opportunity to lead. For the past 14 months, we've been serving in Houston, promoting health and wellness in the Acres Homes neighborhood, a classified food desert where roughly 1/3 of the residents live at or below the poverty line. We have come alongside other Houston nonprofits fighting the same fight that we are. We're proud to say that our Houston community is a better place to live because of the platoon. But we're also a better community of veterans thanks to the platoon. And never was that clearer to me than this past February. February 15th, 2015 to be exact. The 10-year anniversary of my helicopter crash, and what we in the military refer to as an alive day. You see, I knew this was going to be a tough day for me. It is every year.